Make some noise, Mr. Jonathan Joseph!
How's everyone doing? For the record, my name is Joseph Johnson. Just felt the need to put that out there. Lovely faces here. How old are you, sir? 18! Oh my days. Can't even remember when I was 18. You know? I'm an adult, just in case you didn't catch that, you know? And the thing about being an adult, Mr. 18-year-old, is, you know, you're given this title with all this very, very specific job description, and, you know, you have to accept it. I don't think it's fair. I think I should be able to say, I don't want to be an adult, but that's not an option. The thing about getting older is it does change your perspective on things. Take Batman, for instance. When I was younger, I loved Batman. I wanted to be Batman. You know, I used to picture like a dark evening in an alleyway. Some guys are up to no good. I'm Batman in this scenario, by the way. And then there's a dark shadow casting over. I drop down, you know, beat them with my ninja skills. One last person's like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Batman. But growing up, I hated Superman. I just thought he was a bit naff, you know, he's wearing his underwear on top of his trousers, and he had that voice that kind of screamed teacher's pet, halt, you no-gooders. You know, I'm thinking. But as an adult, I think, you know what? Superman is qualified to be a superhero. And Batman needs to sort himself out. That's what he needs to do. I mean, that whole, you know, he's a superhero, but he doesn't have superpowers, doesn't really work for me, especially when I think of the whole Justice League situation, you know? Because Batman's sitting there, and he's like, you know, giving them orders. I just imagine that if I was a superhero, even like a C-class superhero, like, I don't know, Plastic Man, I would bully Batman. Like, Batman would be there, be like, yeah, this is not good enough. We need to be on top of things. We need to stop Darkseid. We're just not performing. I'll be on the table like, who are you talking to, Batman? Who are you? Bruv, and I'll get up, Green Lantern and Flash will be holding back. Like, nah. This guy thinks it's bad. Superman will be like, calm down, Plastic Man. I'll be like, nah, Kal-El. This guy thinks it's bad. Nah. He'll be walking down the hallway and I'll be like, you know, when I see him, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, even as an adult, I'm still influenced by my childhood fantasies, you know. You know, I took up, you know, as a grown man, I took up martial arts. Anyone does martial arts in here? Anyone? Any martial artists? No? I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you know. And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a live martial arts in the sense that when you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's not like back in the day. You know, when you go to those karate schools, you know, like in the 70s or 80s, and you'd have like this guy walking around with a black belt, but he never really had to prove himself. So you're not quite sure whether, is this guy really a black belt? But you kind of had to just go with it. In Jiu-Jitsu, you have to prove yourself. Like, you know, I'm a brown belt, so I'm a bad man, so, you know. But when I walk into the class wearing that belt, people are like, oh, brown belt. So you have to prove yourself. And I do prove myself, you know. Give out whoopings, you know, a few times a week. But the thing about it, and you kind of, you know, get into this hero worship thing, especially if you go to a session and no black belts turn up. So you're like king of the hill whooping people, you know. And everyone's like, Joseph, how did you do that move? And I'm like, well, you know. But I remember one session, I had a big meal before training. And they always say you shouldn't eat before a training session. But I'm like, I'm a bad man. I'm going to do what I like. So I had this big meal, went to class. No black belts were around, whooping everyone, you know, got ready, you know, dressed up, had a shower. On my way, you know, to the train station, people are following me, you know, white belts, blue belts are following me. And we're walking together, sitting in the train, and they're like, oh, Joseph, how did you do that move? And I'm like, well, grasshopper, as you can see, it's all about, and then all of a sudden, it hits me. The need to do a number 2. And I'm just like there. And if you've ever been in that situation, your body does funny things where you begin to sweat, you begin to, monitor your movements. Any little thing could involve things dropping out when they're not meant to drop out, that kind of situation. So I'm there quiet, and they're all like, is he thinking of how to tell us? The door of the train opens, I run out of the train. And they're probably confused, what's going on here? But anyway, I'm running around the high street of wherever I am, looking for a McDonald's. There's no McDonald's. It's funny, I can't get away from it now, but on that day, couldn't find a McDonald's. I was looking, nowhere. I end up in this deserted hospital. I don't know why it's deserted, but I'm looking around frantically for a toilet. I finally see that toilet. I was like, yes. It was like a white light shined on the toilet. Ooh, it's like fantastic. Run, make a beeline for a toilet. There's a door in between me. I try to push the door. It's locked. And at this point, just imagine those little men working inside your body. Like, yes, it's time, number 2, it's time to do number 2. Let's start engaging interlocks. My body's ready to go. Now, one of the job descriptions of being an adult is, obviously, as an adult, you shouldn't defecate on yourself. And I'm thinking, I'm an adult. I can't do these things. I'm looking around, the door's locked. I look in the corner, and I think, boy, deserted hospital. Let's just say, by the time I left that building, me being an adult was a technicality. My name's Joseph, and you've all been great.